my name is Amanda Mitchell, and I coach at Southwestern High School. This will be my 5th year coaching varsity softball, and this will be my 1st year as the middle school varsity softball coach. Today is day 2 in our FCA virtual camp, and we will be going over catching. But on top of that, our theme this day is surrendering yourself 100% to God. So if you guys are ready, we're going to talk about some catching aspects and how they relate to throwing. So the first thing we're going to talk about today is actually catching. Okay, now what does that mean? Yes, of course everybody has caught like a ball before with some sort of object, but the correct way to catch it is to make sure that this ball is always at the center of your chest. If I'm throwing the ball to you, I'm going to be looking right here at your chest, making sure that I'm aiming to get it right into your glove. Now, as you are receiving this ball, you want to make sure that the palm of your glove is at me. Okay, now you never want to be extended too tight because you'll hear your coach yell a lot, be soft, have soft hands. Okay, that even goes whenever you're catching, so you want to absorb and get ready to transfer into that throw. All right, so catching itself is literally the foundation from, infield, outfield. Literally, you're putting yourself in the best position possible to make that out. One of the main things that I stress to my athletes all the time is that whenever they're going to, after they've received the ball and they're making that transfer, which we'll get into here in a minute, is making sure that they get behind the ball. Now what does that mean? That means that you have that ball is facing behind you, all right, and you're coming over the top of your arm. Because the second that you start getting behind it or to the side a little bit, you're putting so much stress on that elbow and that shoulder, and you're going to be 10 games in, 15 games in, and then you're going to be asking coach, why does your arm hurt? All right, as an infielder, that's where I thrived. All right, I always played in the dirt. It was third base, it was second base, I caught. All right, so when you are making that transfer or going into the throwing part of your fielding, you want to always make sure that your body is in front of the ball as much as possible. Okay, so if this is my ball here and I'm coming up to field it, the first thing I'm going to do again is make sure that my palm is up. All right, and then I'm either going to give width, okay, to absorb, or I'm going to push out, depending on what you're comfortable with. You can kind of toy with it either way. Okay, and then as I'm coming through that, I'm going to make sure that I'm putting my weight on my back leg, making sure that ball is behind me, and then I'm going to transfer through, throwing and making sure that I'm looking at my target. Okay, I always point my glove at my target, and then I follow through with that release. All right, next we're going to take a look at catching a ball or putting yourself in the best position to catch a ball in the outfield. My biggest thing is, as you guys can see, I don't have a glove on, and that's because the palm needs to be up, and I want you guys to be able to focus on that. Okay, so even if the ball is right in front of me, boom, palm up. Okay, now one way that an outfielder gets to a ball that's quicker behind them is that whenever they are taking that first step or they're getting ready for the pitch, is that first step is always back. Always back. It doesn't matter where if it's a ball 1, ball 2, strike 1, strike 2, their step should always be back. So if I'm getting ready and that pitcher's going into her windup, the first thing I'm going to do is put myself back. Because that way my momentum's already going back, and it's going to be so much easier for me to crash in if that ball is going to drop in front of me. All right, now say that ball is coming right at me. The first thing I'm going to do is, again, take that step back, position myself, and boom, palm is up, 2 hands, and I'm ready to go. All right, so to conclude catching, if you guys can take away anything from my videos, I want you to make sure that you know to always have your palm up when you're fielding, okay, whether it's in the air or whether it's on the ground, making sure that you're always using 2 hands and making sure that you're getting behind the ball. Make sure you're always putting yourself in the best position you can, okay? Don't be afraid to move your feet. All right, the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is different routes to take in the infield and in the outfield. When the ball is hit, for instance, up the middle as a mid-infielder, so a second baseman or a shortstop, the best thing for you to do is kind of drop step back a little bit and kind of go with the flow and go where the ball is going. Don't try to beat the ball where it's at. That way you're moving your momentum towards where the play is going to be, technically at first base. And that way you're giving yourself the best opportunity to put yourself in the best position possible to field that ball. All right, so we just talked about different angles that you can take in the infield. Now, talking about those angles in the outfield, they're just going to be on a grander scale because there's more room to cover. Okay? As an outfielder, I'm watching that ball hit off the bat, and I see that it's going to be over my head. The first thing I'm going to do is figure out which way. Is it going to be to my left? Is it going to be to my right? Because that's going to change in the angle of which I'm going to position my body. If it's going to be to my right, I'm going to drop step to my right, which puts my glove hand, palm up again, over here. Okay? And then again, I'm going to position myself the best that I can. Okay? If it's going to be over to my left, it's going to be a little bit trickier because I'm going to be palm up again on this side, and then I'm going to come down, and then if I'm making that throw in, I'm going to have to position myself over. All right, so to work on having those soft hands and putting yourself in the best position and getting comfortable with fielding a ground ball in the center of your chest, the best way that I do it is actually not even with a softball. I use an oven mitt and I use a tennis ball. But I don't have those with me today, and maybe you don't have those laying around your house. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you those with this drill. So the first thing you're gonna wanna do, okay, is get on your knees. Okay, you're gonna stand tall, put those shoulders back, and you're gonna put your hand out, palm up, in front of you, okay? Then you're gonna wanna get more of an athletic stance, all right? If you're at home and you have that oven mitt on and that tennis ball, all you have to do is throw it at a wall, okay? Safe, please don't break any windows, all right? Then as that ball comes to you, you're gonna wanna wait for it, and then you're gonna come up with it, okay? And absorb that. You're gonna have those soft hands. And that's gonna help with that muscle memory of putting yourself in the best position to field that ball.
Go ahead.
In conclusion, friends, that wraps up day 2 of our virtual FCA camp. Wrapping up those main points, make sure you always have your palm up, you know, you're behind the ball here. And you're always using 2 hands. Guys, I really appreciate you. And I know that you guys will take these drills and make them your own and keep working to get better each and every day. And I hope to see you guys in high school ball, hopefully, and beyond. Just a reminder that today's today's theme is 100% self-surrendering to God.